Hi, welcome back to QNAP Live Broadcast. I'm Sam, and I'm the host for the topic today. And today we have our PM David and Sam here to introduce a brand new design of our NAS. So let's just go into the topic. And the topic today is our Gemini 1000. That is the 3U. First of all, that is a rack mount type NAS, and that is a 3U spec with 20 bay, and it can support ZFS system. And the CPU is Xeon E type, so basically the CPU efficient is really high and high enough for your enterprise usage. And then we we have something new from the previous two ZFS type of the NASes. So we will start each by each. And first of all, we will start from the ZFS operating system. And this NAS is equipped with a QTS Hero system. So we will start from this and let you know the advantages of using our system. So please.
Yeah, we are happy to announce our third QTS Hero dedicated machine here. And here I want to mention again why we choose the ZFS file system for our enterprise NAS. I list 4 valuable points what enterprise customer interest. The first, now enterprise they use a lot of all-flash solution or use SSD to their storage pool or be their storage part of their storage. And the SSD consumption is how to reduce the SSD cost is very important for enterprise IT. And the second point is many of our enterprise customers, they request for the terabyte level storage space to do some data analysis for AI inference. And the third point is talking about the enterprise customer, they focus on their data integrity. They don't allow their data have some unintentional error. And the fourth point, we will talk about the disaster recovery capability, how we provide the data backup solution for our enterprise customers. So let me to explain by detail. Okay, so the first point is we provide user ZFS is we also provide the powerful data reduction features. So when you use the ZFS to transfer data, it will provide the inline dedupe and the inline compression feature. And after decrease the data, also you can extend the life of SSD. Yeah. Why? Everyone knows the structure of between the hard drive and the SSD are different. SSD is a kind of solid memory and has a limited number of write cycle. So before their memory cell failed, if their memory cell failed, that means your SSD will be dead. So it equals the lifetime of the SSD. So if the data could be reduced before write into the SSD, for example, with our ZFS data reduction to do the inline dedupe and compression, it can, if you reduce 50% data, it also means you can extend the double lifetime of the SSD. So this benefit is only available for our inline dedupe and the inline compression function. And that's why we said that ZFS is the best choice to pair with all-flash and the SSD storage. Okay, and the second reason we choose the ZFS is it can provide you the huge capacity of the shared storage. We provide the terabyte level share folder. Many customers request this size of the share folder because it's enough to store the huge data matrix. Usually it's used for to do the big data analysis, edge computing, or AI inference. And the third reason is ZFS can provide the customer self-healing feature. Normally, your data seems protected by the RAID, but sometimes it's easier to correlation than correction. Sometimes you heard about maybe your disk has the bad sector or the magnetic issue cause the data broken. But if when you choose the ZFS, it provides the self-healing. So how to do it? There's how to do it. He can write the checksum for each data block, and when he write into the hard drive, and the error detection and the checksum will store in each block's parent block. So which allows ZFS RAID can repair the data automatically. We use this figure to explain. When your application accesses the data from the ZFS RAID, and maybe it's found the checksum mismatched. So now the second figure will tell you ZFS RAID will ask the parity disk to provide the correct data. Then go to the third figures. He pull the correct data to the application and also use this parity data to repair the error parts automatically. And the fourth reason we choose ZFS is provide the complete data backups protections. Every enterprise customer interested about what's the frequency they should do the backup. Here we provide three different solutions. First, we have a HBS3. It's a file level with the multi-version management. So you can back up the data daily by schedule. And the second, we provide the snapshot and snapshot replica. ZFS snapshot is different than before. It's the most lightweight snapshot, and it will not affect the storage performance. So enterprise customer, he can take a snapshot hourly, and every hour for every day. So almost for one storage, he can keep almost 7 years snapshots if he take a snapshot hourly. And the third solution is the real-time sync. It's also the block levels backup solution, and it can mirror the data to remote NAS to another one, and always keep the data up to date. It's a real-time solution to do it. Also, we provide the warm feature on QTS Hero. It's used to avoid the modification for saved data. This feature usually designed for some special agency, security department, and with warm feature enabled, the data in share folder can only can read, but cannot be write or delete or modified. Here we provide two different modes for the warm folder. The first one is the enterprise mode, where you can remove a share folder through the QTS Heroes UI, or destroy the share folder via the QCLI command line. The second mode is compliance mode. It's more safer than the enterprise mode. That means if you want to destroy the data, you have to take the pool offline and remove the whole pool. Those are the reasons I think QTS Hero can provide a lot of benefit for our enterprise customers.
Yes. And after the short introduction for the ZFS system, and the next part is we are going to talk about the hardware. So today we only have two microphones. So yeah, this one for you.
Okay, thank you.
And it's a little bit different with the previous model, rack mount model that we have dual controller, but it seems like a little bit the same. So what are the differences? David, please.
Okay, sure. I think before I introduce the details of the Gemini 1000 series, I would like to go through the requirement in business, because sometimes we find our customers, they purchase multiple NAS at once. So we're just wondering why they purchase multiple NAS at once. Why not just one by one? And I think the reason could be the three reasons here. Okay, the first one is they want to because they have different applications. So each NAS serves for different applications. For example, they have virtualization environment, so they need a NAS for that environment. But they need another NAS for the data archive or file sharing among the departments in the company. So they purchase two or three NASs at the same time. And the second reason may be some departments, they want to have their own NAS to manage the data on their own. For example, R&D department, because the R&D data are quite important, they need to protect the data in the NAS and avoid other people to access the data in the NAS. So the department would purchase their own NAS. And the third one, it's quite popular because they need to have a data backup or disaster recovery solution. So one NAS is just like a primary storage for the online services. And another one is just for backup or disaster recovery NAS storage. They back up the data from the primary storage to the backup one. Okay, so since some business they purchase multiple NAS at the same time, and how about those old NAS? When time goes by, you would find the old NAS cannot fulfill the new applications because some applications may need more powerful hardware to provide good performance in that applications. And also because data, you are going to have more and more data, so of course you run out of storage. And the third part is some hardware may reach its service life because it has been served for your environment for 5 or 7 or 10 years, and maybe goes to the end, right? So the destiny of those old NAS, what is the destiny of those old NAS? Maybe just throw it away, or some people may think, okay, it is still working, so I move the old NAS to other applications. But please be aware, maybe the NAS hardware has reached its life, right? So how to make an economic investment, because actually the investment for the storage is just not a small amount of money, and for the business they want to have economic investment, so they need to find out some solution for that. Okay, so let me introduce the Gemini 1000 series. And it's a very unique NAS, and actually maybe not a NAS. So you can see it's a 3U NAS model. The system model name is GM-1000, but actually it contains 2 independent NAS within the 3U enclosure. So the difference between our ES NAS and the Gemini 1000 is the ES NAS is dual controller. They are connected. So if one controller is failed, another one will take over the job. And the Gemini 1000 series is 2 independent NAS. So just like 2 NAS in an enclosure. Okay, and the enclosure support 770 watt redundant power supply, and the power is provided to 2 hosts. And of course we ship with the QTS Hero operating system. It's an enterprise operating system, just like Sam mentioned and introduced. Okay, so let's check the composition of the Gemini series. Just like what I mentioned, when you order the Gemini 1000 GM-1000 series, you are going to have one enclosure. We give a model name of the enclosure. The model name is TEC-2N16. That means 2 node supports 16-bit, 16 3.5 inch in this enclosure, and it supports 770 watt redundant power supply. And also we give the model name for the NAS. Maybe we can say it's a NAS node, or it's a node. So the model name of the NAS node is TNS-H1083X. Okay, each NAS node supports Intel Xeon E processor, full memory DIMM, 210GB, 2.5GB RAM, also U.2 and M.2 port. Okay, so the NAS node is a swappable design. So that means if you want to upgrade your memory or doing the maintenance or send it back to the repair service, you don't have to send the whole NAS system to QNAP. You just ship the NAS node, that's all. And another thing is, if you want to upgrade the performance of the NAS, for example, after a while, QNAP launched a new NAS node, and with higher performance, you can just change the node. So you can still remain your investment for the enclosure and the power supply. Okay, so how about the disk? Just like what I mentioned before, 3 16-bit, but it's 2 independent NAS. So actually, each NAS node support 8 hard drive as the front side. Okay, so even though you see it is a 16-bit, but actually for each node it supports 8 just in front of the NAS node, and there are extra 2 U.2 port at the rail side. So for each node, each NAS, it supports 10 drives. Okay. Front side, a 3.5 SATA hard drive bay, and 2.5 inch U.2 port at the rail side. And for the U.2 SSD, actually for the U.2 port, we support NVMe Gen 3x4 SSD and also SATA 6GB. So you can install no matter NVMe Gen 3x4 SSD or SATA 6GB SSD into the U.2 port. And of course, QNAP provide a very good accessory, QDA-UMP series. It is U.2 to M.2 like converter. It's exactly same as the size of 2.5 SSD. So it's another alternative if you want to install the M.2 SD into the U.2 port. Alright, so how you're gonna use the U.2 port? Just like you can have U.2 SSD and SATA SSD. I think I would suggest our customer to have the ZFS file system operating system installed in the U.2. Okay, because ZFS file system is quite unique. There's a lot of like index metadata or random rewrite requirement for the operating system, especially for the system drive. Okay, so if you install the ZFS operating system into the U.2 port inside the SSD, you will find the performance will improve a lot. Below is just a comparison of the NVMe SAS SSD and SATA SSD. You can find, because it's NVMe Gen 3x4, you can get I think up to 800K random read IOPS and 100K random write IOPS. Okay, so let's make a comparison. How we help our customer to save money, or you can have a flexibility of the upgradability. Okay, so for the space requirement, let's say if you want to buy two bay NAS, and it requires 4U space in a rack. But for our GM-1000 Gemini series, it only occupies 3U space in the rack. And okay, also for the power supply part, let's say if the NAS is too old to serve your applications, you want to purchase a new one. That means you are going to throw away the old one, right? So your investment like power supply chassis would just away. Okay, so for the GM-1000, it's too redundant, 770 watt, and when you upgrade the system, you can still remain the power supply. And for the maintenance part, if you purchase like a regular 2U NAS, if you want to do the maintenance, like upgrade your memory, swap your system fan, you have to remove the complete NAS from the rack. But for the GM-1000, just take out just like a drawer, right? Just take out the NAS node during your maintenance and put it back. And also, if you want to send the NAS for the repair service, only NAS node sent to the QNAP, not the complete NAS. And for the upgradability, just like I mentioned before, in the future, if QNAP launch new NAS node with very good performance, you can just upgrade by replacing the NAS node. So still remain the chassis and the power supply. Okay. Right. This is a system block diagram. The TEC enclosure supports 16 hard drives, but actually each NAS node supports 8 at the front side. And below is the two NAS node. The model name is TNS-H1080-3X. And in each NAS node, we have a Xeon processor and PCH. We provide 4 memory DIMM. It goes and 2 PCIe slots. One PCIe slot is from the CPU, and another one PCIe Gen 3x4 is from the PCH. And all the LAN port comes from the PCH part. And for the U.2 port, the PCIe Gen 3x4 comes from the CPU side, and we provide a SATA controller to provide the SATA 6 key connectability. So it is from the PCH. Okay. And this is the enclosure specifications. So at the front side, actually you can see 16 drive space over there, but it's separate to A side, belongs to A side or belong to B side. And for each side we have its own OLED indicators. So because it's two NAS, so each NAS has its own OLED indicators. And also in the GM-1000, we provide lockable tray. And about the indicators, upper part is OLED, and there are 2 LEDs over there. The upper part, the first one is NAS power status. You can say that is the power status of the node. Okay, if the node is power off, but actually the physical power, redundant power, is still connected over there, right? So the NAS power status will go off, but the enclosure power status will still remain on. Okay. The second is NAS fan status, and the third one is NAS system temperature, and also there is a side, B side indicator. Let you know this is A side, this is B side, right? So because sometimes if you want to do something, for example, replace a hard drive, you need to know A side or B side. Okay. This is the real view of the enclosure. We have a B side and A side NAS drawer that is empty right now because it's an enclosure. You can just plug the NAS node into these two drawers, and there are two 770 watt redundant power supply. And please be aware, it is a redundant power supply and provide the power to both NAS. So it's not one power supply from one NAS. Okay. Right. And for the user interface, Because it's two NAS inside, we want our customer to know which NAS you are logging into the user interface. So when you logging into the NAS, in the login page, you will see a letter over there, A side. It helps you to know you are logging into the A side or B side. And also in the storage manager, you can see the difference compared with the regular QTS here. We provide A side and B side. If you log into the B side, you will only see the B side disk information over here. And also in the storage manager, we make the difference. Let customers know, okay, this disk is located at the A side or B side. And in the MVS, network and the virtual switch, because network is also quite important. Sometimes if you want to unplug the network cable, I don't want our customer to unplug the wrong one, right? So we made a change over here as well. Okay, and this is the node specification. We talk about the enclosure specifications, and this is the node specification. The model name is TNS-H1083X, and this time we provide two SKUs. One is Xeon E 2234, another one is Xeon E 2236. So you will see the SKU name is a little bit different. Another difference between these two SKUs is the Xeon E 2234 provide 8 by default, and another one should be with the 16 gig. And of course, they all equipped with the Xeon processor. And we put this here is because it's Xeon. Xeon is just like enterprise image, right? We have enterprise level operating system QTS here. Of course, we need an enterprise processor. And we support ECC memory. And if you are familiar with the ZFS file system, it's quite important for the ZFS file system because for the ZFS file system, it trusts all the data in the memory. So it relies on memory itself to do the error correcting stuff. Okay, so all the ZFS players, they know ECC memory is a important thing for storage. And for the GM-1000, we support ECC. We ship the memory with ECC, and also it supports up to 128 GB memory. And this is the real view of the NAS node. We have 2 PCI slots and 4 USB 3. Gen 2 port, which supports 10 gig, 2.5 in gigabit Ethernet, 2 10 gig ports over there. And when it goes into the inside, you can see the M.2 slot over there. It's just between the system cooling fan and the 2 PCI slot. It's in the middle of there. And 4 DDR ROM DIMM is just next to the Xeon CPU. And the 2 U.2 drive carrier, they are hot swappable. So if you are you install the operating system into the U.2 SSDs, if one day something happened to your SSD, you can just easily hot plug the SSD and replace a new one. Okay, so that's why we suggest our customer to install operating system in the U.2 SSD. Okay, here is the ordering information. The series name is Gemini 1000. So when you order the system, if you order, we provide 2 SKUs. Okay, one is GM-1001. So it contains 1 enclosure and 2 NAS nodes. The NAS node would be the E2234 and shipped with 8 GB memory. And if the another SKU GM-1002, same enclosure but with another 2 NAS node. The NAS node SKU would be E2236 and shipped with the 16 GB memory. Okay, so we go through all the details of the hardware specifications and how we are using this Gemini 1000 because it's 3U, but 2 NAS inside. Okay, so let's go to the HybridMount first. We just launched the HybridMount. It's just like a cloud gateway software solution. If you install this HybridMount app into your NAS, and it can provide you much higher performance compared with data access direct to the cloud, right? So it's just like a cloud gateway. But we found actually the HybridMount consumes a lot of CPU resources. So this is the test result in our lab. Okay, let's see. Let's say if you want to mount 5 buckets from the cloud, and the CPU loading would be around 30%. But if you want to have more bucket to be mounted in the NAS, let's say 30, okay? So you can see the CPU loading will go up to around 60%. So the HybridMount solution actually needs very powerful CPU and also cores. So CPU computing power and cores are the key factors for the HybridMount solution. Okay, for this point, the GM-1000 series is quite good for the application because it's 2 NAS. Means you are going to have 2 CPU. You can provide different service or to each NAS. Okay, each node, each NAS. It's just like you can double up the computing power. Okay, each NAS can provide different cloud gateway services. Okay, so this is another application for our customer. We can do the service offload and the cross backup. So since it's 2 NAS, and I believe in many business, they do the virtualize their servers into virtual machine. So they need a NAS for the virtual machine, right? But actually, those IT administrators, they don't want the same storage to be shared with other applications because the virtual machine, they are running like a Windows server. It's related to the operating of the business. So they need to have another NAS for the file sharing. In this scenario, you can provide the B-side NAS for the hypervisor, so virtualization environment. You can have the A-side NAS to serve as file sharing for the employees in the company. And the good thing is you can direct connect the 2 NAS with a 10 gigabit Ethernet connection, and you can do the cross backup. So you can back up the iSCSI log in the B-side NAS to the A-side NAS, and also back up the data from the A-side NAS to the B-side NAS. So if something happens to your environment, you can just do the recovery. And just like Sam mentioned, we support HBS backup, hybrid backup sync 3.0 as a file base. You can use that for backing up your file level data. And also, I think pretty soon, maybe next month, we are going to have a QNAP snap sync function in the QTS Hero operating system.
Also can use the snapshot replica.
Oh yes, yeah. You can also use the snapshot replica function to do the backup. Okay. And this scenario is actually many of our customers, they have our ES NAS and they want to back up the data for their ES NAS. They want to have an affordable backup solution. Of course, they can purchase another ES NAS for backing up the data, but actually most of our customers, they choose the TES 1885U for backing up because the TES 1885U supports QES operating system. They have exactly same operating system, so there is no problem with the snap sync function, right? So right now, the QTS Hero is also ZFS-based operating system, and the Gemini 1000 series support 2 NAS. That means you can back up your data from the ES to the Gemini series. And it has 2 NAS, so you can back up multiple ES-NAS into the same the two NASes. Okay, the last scenario is about the fiber channel. QNAP just launched the fiber channel, no matter adapters or supporting the QTS or QTS before, right? So it's a very, very good scenario for our customer. So let's say we have A-side NAS and B-side NAS. For the A-side NAS, you can install the fiber channel card. So for the step 1, you can provide storage capacity for the VMware hypervisor via the SAN switch. So it's just like a fiber channel LAN in the A-side NAS. And the second step is you can do the snap sync function and sync the fiber channel LAN into the B-side NAS. So you will have backup for the fiber channel LAN in the A-side NAS. And the third step is you can also leverage the snapshot clone function to clone the LAN in the B-side NAS. So after you clone a LAN, you can provide the ISAC LAN to your no matter Windows or Linux server, and you can have the copy data management. So it's a very, very complete solution. You provide A-side NAS. A-side NAS provide fiber channel service. You can have B-side NAS for backup, and also leverage snapshot clone. You can clone the LAN and mount the LAN for the data management. So we support fiber channel, and QNAP also have fiber channel solution, right? We have QNAP, no matter 32 gig or 16 gig fiber channel adapter, and also we provide optical fiber channel transceiver. And if you are if you want to use the third-party solutions, yes, no problem. We have them available, and Apple fiber channel adapter, they are all supported with QTS Hero. Okay, so since we talk about the backup, cross backup, so cross backup may require more capacity because each NAS node supports only 8 hard drive at front side, right? So some people may ask how if I need more capacity for the backing up or for my applications. No problem. We provide our customer 2 solutions. The first one is, I think it is the most affordable solution, and we just launched the TL SATA JBAR series before. You can see over here, we have tower model from 4-bay to 16-bay. We have rackmount model, 1U 4-bay and 2U 12-bay, and they are quite good and affordable because it's just set up, and we provide our customers SATA expansion card. If you purchase the NAS, purchase the SATA JBAR, we ship with the expansion card. Just install the expansion card into your host. Host means the NAS, and connect with the cable, and you can see 4 drive, 8 drive, or 16 drive appear into your user interface. So because we have different bay of the SATA JBAR, so we provide different type of the expansion card. Okay, so each JBAR shipped with the expansion card and cable. So you just purchase the JBAR, and the expansion card and cable will be included in the package. Okay. So this is the first way to expand your capacity. Affordable, easy to use, but this is for the rackmount. Okay, package content of the rackmount SATA JBAR. But how if the customers, they want to have very large capacity of the storage? And if so, we would suggest our customer to go with SAS JBAR solution, because for the SAS JBAR solution, it can cascade up to 8 for each NAS node. So that means each node can support up to 138 hard drive, and almost I think more than 1 petabyte raw capacity.
So you have the test unit in Hsinchu.
Yes. It supports over 1 petabyte low capacity. So if you need the huge capacity storage expansion solution, go with the SAS, or you can just go with the SATA JBus solution. Okay. And these are the expansion cards.
Yeah.
We have QM2. QM2 supports M.2 SSD, and for the network, we support 10G, 25G, and 40G network adapter. And fiber channel, just what I mentioned, that's adapter. I mentioned before, you can use it for the capacity expansion, and also USB expansion card. You can just install those cards into your PCI slot, and you can expand your network bandwidth, storage capacity, or M.2 as a cache. Okay, so that's the overview of the Gemini 1000 series.
Yep. So let's go back to the slide. And well, we have done the reason why you can choose ZFS if you're running your own business, and the advantages of all the introduction to the advantages for the Gemini 1000 series. So if you're looking for a hardware update, or you are interested in this series, you can contact your domestic reseller or distributor for more information. And when will this series be released in the worldwide market?
I think pretty soon.
Okay, so okay, so thank you for coming for all the introduction, David and Sam. And if you like our video, please subscribe our channel, and we will see you next time on QNAP Live Broadcast. Bye.
Bye.